Hi, book nerds. My name is Elizabeth, and I'm from Team Underlined, and we are so excited about today's YA Book Buzz panel. We wish we could be together in person, but we're going to have just as much fun virtually today. So please bear with us if we have any technical glitches or if a furry friend happens to hop on screen. We're going to get through this together, and it's going to be really fun. We cannot wait to tell you about some of the new and upcoming YA books that we love and are excited to share with you today. I am here today with some of my book besties. First up, we have Josh, who is from our publicity team. He loves sci-fi fantasy, and he has the most amazing sword-shaped umbrella that I am very, very jealous of. Thanks, Josh. Next up, we have Nicole, who is our resident graphic novel expert. She loves everything YA, and she also has a dog named Peanut Butter. Cutest name ever. And then we also have Caitlin. Caitlin is the queen of planning all of our events and festivals. She loves thrillers and also loves spicy food. All right, guys, let's get started. I'm so excited. Nicole, we're going to start with you. Let's talk about graphic novels.
All right, I am so excited to introduce everyone to some fantastic YA graphic novels coming from Get Underlined as well as Random House Graphic. Let's start first with Witchlight. This is the debut graphic novel from Jessie Zabarski. It is a beautiful YA fantasy featuring two women who go from enemies to falling in love. Lilek is a witch and Sanja a local villager. They end up partnered on a very unlikely journey as Lilek searches for answers to who has stolen some of her powers. While they start off as enemies, she kind of trapped her and took her with her. They soon find that they have a lot more in common, and it soon turns into a story of empathy and understanding, and then develops into a beautiful romance. It's sweet. It's not like a lot of YA stories that you see out there. There's not a lot of big, gigantic scenes. It's more about the sweet, tender moments in between. I love romance like that. This book is absolutely perfect for fans who are looking for romance, fantasy, LGBTQ stories, and graphic novels. The art is so dynamic. The story is so sweet and touching. This is just, if you want a book to give you all the feels, this is the one. You can find Witchlight now. Another fantastic story, which I have right there, is The Magic Fish by Trung Guin. This is, again, his debut graphic novel, and I cannot wait for people to see this book. It is going to blow everybody's minds. If you were ready to be wrecked by a book, this is the one. I read it and bawled crying for a solid hour, and I have not heard anyone who has not had that same reaction. This is a story about family, and I think that's really unique a lot of times in YA. Tien loves his family. He is a first-generation Vietnamese American. His parents don't speak English that well while he has been raised in it. So they learned, he helps teach them to speak English using fairy tales that they borrow from the local library. And through the story, he also has a secret, and he doesn't know how to say it to them because he doesn't know the words in Vietnamese. How does he tell them he's gay? How does he reveal that piece of him? The story is actually told in 3 different parts. It's told in the past, in the present, and through fairy tales. It is retellings of Cinderella and The Little Mermaid, although not really retellings, original tellings. So that's actually really fascinating. And like I said, this book will destroy you in all of the best ways. And I'm really excited because it talks, this is a beautiful story of that intersections LGBTQ, immigration, fairy tales, and so much more. I can't wait for everyone to grab this book in October. And guest appearance here, here's Trung now. Hi, Trung. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Nicole.
Let's jump in. What 5 words best describe The Magic Fish?
The 5 words would be intergenerational, feelings, connection, empathy, and trying.
Love it. What are you reading now, and what's next on your TBR list?
Right now I'm reading The Mabinogion, which is a source literature, so it's very dry, and I'm working really hard to get through it. I'm also reading Disney War by James B. Stewart, because corporate history is super fascinating to me right now. My TBR pile includes The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Harrow, and Angel Mage by Garth Nix. I'm also starting to look into reading the Catherine Arden books, starting with The Bear and the Nightingale. That's been highly recommended to me.
It's really good.
Awesome.
What is one fun fact about you?
One fun fact. I raise 3 chickens. They're really adorable and they're incredibly spoiled. Their names are Beatrice, Letty, and Edie.
Oh, awesome. Let's play a quick game of Bookish Would You Rather.
Okay.
Would you rather never learn the ending or have a great ending spoiled?
I would rather have the great ending spoiled. I'm actually not a stickler for spoilers. I like the journey and I like, how things get there. So even if I know the ending, if a book is really good, if the story is really good, then spoilers probably won't matter.
I love it. Would you rather only be able to read standalone books or only be able to read one series that never ends?
Oof. I would rather read a series of standalone books. I want to be able to hop between different universes. I don't think I have the kind of commitment to stick with one series for the rest of my life.
For the writer too.
Yes.
Would you rather lend a book to a friend and never get it back, or you get it back but it's damaged?
I think it depends on how it's damaged. If it's really loved on and the text is still all there, then yes, I'll take it back because, I've shared this love with someone else and they've dog-eared it and they've, really loved it. But if it's irreparably damaged and I can't have a story anymore, then they can keep it and use it for something else.
Yeah, that's a good point. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you so much for being here, Trung. Comic-Con, you can pre-order this book now. It is out this October. Thank you. Why don't we talk about one more little sneak peek? We have a new book coming this January called Let's Talk About It. So what does that mean? What are we going to talk about? This is a fascinating nonfiction graphic novel, the very first one we've actually done, and I'm very excited for people to check it out. So let's talk about it. This book covers relationships, friendships, gender, sexuality, self-esteem, body image, sex education. I could go on and on and on. The idea behind this book is we want to give you the tools and the very cool looking book of actually how to deal with these things. Being a teenager is awkward, and we know it's awkward. Being an adult is awkward, we know. But this book is supposed to help, it's going to help you with that. It is from Erica Moen and Matthew Nolan. They have done some incredible research on this book, and I can't wait for people to see. It's such a book of one of its kind, so don't make it awkward. Pick up, let's talk about it. Now I'm going to send it over to Josh so we can hear more about what's new in sci-fi and fantasy.
Thanks, Nicole. So the first fantasy I want to talk about is Unravel the Dusk by Elizabeth Lim. This is the highly anticipated sequel to Spin the Dawn, and the second and final book in the Blood of Stars duology. So in Spin the Dawn, which I would describe as Mulan meets Project Runway, our protagonist Maya masquerades as a man in order to compete for the role of Imperial Tailor. She is one of 12 tailors vying for the position, and backstabbing and lies run rampant as the competition unfolds. And then things get more complicated when Maya draws the attention of Idan, the court magician, who seems to suspect that she's not who she says she is. Matters quickly escalate even further when she's presented with the impossible task of sewing 3 magic gowns from the laughter of the sun, the tears of the moon, and the blood of the stars, sending her on a quest to the far reaches of the kingdom in search of these legendary materials. In Unravel the Dusk, Maya's quest continues, only add Save the Kingdom, which is now on the brink of war, and slowly lose control to a demonic force taking over her mind and body, to the list of challenges that she faces. Steeped in Chinese culture, sizzling with forbidden romance, and shimmering with magic, this series is such an atmospheric and compelling read, and I recommend it to anyone who loves fairy tale adaptations. And now, please welcome special guest Elizabeth Lim. Liz, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We're really excited to have you.
It's such a pleasure. Thanks for having me here, Josh.
So I'm going to ask you 4 questions really quickly. The last one, I'm going to let you choose which one you want to answer. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Question number 1. What 5 words best describe Unravel the Dusk?
Okay. 5 words I would use would be fire, winter, enchantment, unraveling, and redemption.
Love it. Next question. What are you reading right now, and what's next on your TBR?
Okay, so right now I'm reading the Gilded ones by Nomina, and it's so good. I'm only halfway through, but I'm loving it so far, and I can't wait to finish. But next up for me is going to be The Princess Will Save You by Sarah Henning. We are launch day buddies, so I'm really excited for that one as well.
That's awesome. I'm not familiar with that one, but the Gilded ones is a favorite. Okay, next question. What is a fun fact about you?
I used to be a music composer. For the longest time, ever since I was 4 years old, that was what I wanted to do. Had no idea I was going to become an author, so that was a surprise to me.
That's awesome. Okay, last question. Choose from the following. Either 2 truths, 1 lie, would you rather, bookish edition, 6-second summaries, or deserted island.
I'm going to go with would you rather.
Okay, then. I'm going to ask you 3 of them.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Okay, yeah.
Would you rather lend a book to a friend and never get it back, or get it back and it's destroyed?
Oh no, I'd rather never ever get it back. I treat my books like children, so.
Completely. Okay, would you rather a happy ending or a cliffhanger?
Oh. Do I get the second book right away? I'll go with the happy ending. I can't wait.
Okay, and last, would you rather have a pet dragon or a pet unicorn?
I'm gonna go with dragon, especially if I can ride it.
Oh, that's a good enough reason right there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's all we have for you today. Thank you so much for joining us. It was great to see you.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks.
Thanks for joining us, Liz. Our next book is House of Dragon by Jessica Cluess.
Woo!
This is the start. I agree. This is the start of an all-new duology from the author of A Shadow Bright and Burning. Game of Thrones fans, or ex-Game of Thrones fans who want something similar but with a more satisfying end, will,
yes, please.
will love this story of 5 royal houses competing to the death in the trial of the Dragon Throne. When an emperor dies, the 5 royal houses of Etrusia attend the call, a ceremony where one of their own will be selected to compete for the throne. It's always the oldest child from each family who is called, and they prepare for years to compete in the trial. But this time, 5 outcasts are called instead. There's the liar, Amelia, who must hide her dark magic or be put to death. The soldier, Lucian, who's a warrior who has sworn to never lift his sword again. The servant, Vesper, is a dragon trainer whose skills alone will keep her in the game. The thief, Ajax, knows that nothing is free and he must take what he wants. And the murderer, Hyperia, who is born to rule and will stop at nothing to take her throne. This is 3 Dark Crowns meets The Breakfast Club, only add dragons. And yeah, it's pretty much as awesome as it sounds. You'll have to read it to find out who wins, though. And then the last book that I want to share with you is one of my favorites, Aurora Burning by Amie Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. You may be familiar with Amie and Jay from their Illuminate Files series. This is the 2nd book in the Aurora cycle, which is nonstop, action-packed science fiction at its best. The series launched last summer with Aurora Rising, and in the first book, the graduating cadets of Aurora Academy are being assigned their first missions, and star pupil Tyler Jones is ready to recruit the squad of his dreams. But an unapproved mission led by Tyler's signature boneheaded heroism causes him to arrive late to the graduation ceremony and sees him stuck with the dregs nobody else in the academy would touch. There's Scarlet. There's Scarlet, a cocky diplomat with a black belt in sarcasm. Zilla, a sociopath scientist with a fondness for shooting her bunkmates. Finn, a smart-ass tech whiz with the galaxy's biggest chip on his shoulder, and totally my favorite character. There's Cal, an alien warrior with anger management issues, and Kat, a tomboy pilot who's totally not into Ty, in case you were wondering.
Sure.
And Ty Squad isn't even the biggest problem, because that would be Aurora Jilin O'Malley, the girl he's just rescued from interdimensional space. Trapped in Cyrus' fleet for 2 centuries, Ori is a girl out of time and out of her depth, but she could be the catalyst that starts a war millions of years in the making, and Tyler's squad of losers, discipline cases, and misfits might just be the last hope for the entire galaxy. Aurora Burning continues Squad 312's mission to figure out how to save the galaxy, only now they're outlaws on the run from, well, pretty much everyone, including Pal's long-lost sister and her Sildrathi army. Shocking revelations, bank heists, mysterious gifts, inappropriately tight bodysuits, and an epic firefight ensue, and I can't recommend this series enough for literally anyone. If you like books, you will like this book. Be prepared to feel lots of different things. And now give it up for the one and only Amie Kaufman and Jay Kristoff.
Hi, Josh.
Hey, mate. How you going?
Thank you guys so much for joining us. We're so happy to see you at San Diego Comic-Con on our computers.
Always wanted to come. We weren't planning on attending from Australia, but here we are.
Magic.
We've got a few questions for you. We're just going to jump right in. Since there's two of you, we will alternate who answers first. We'll start with Amie. So,
Okay.
Question number one. What 5 words best describe Aurora Burning?
Breakfast Club does Starfleet Academy.
Teenage misfits save the galaxy. How's that? That's
Awesome.
5. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, next question. What are you reading now, and what's next on your TBR? Starting with Jay.
I'm actually doing a reread at the moment, which is kind of embarrassing. I'm rereading The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss because I'm working on an epic fantasy as well. So I'm kind of studying well-renowned masterpieces of epic fantasy just to see if I can peer through the cracks to see how various authors did various things. So yeah, I'm reading Patrick again. It's very good, as the sales figures might indicate.
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard of him, Josh,
Yeah,
but he might
I
make
think-
something of himself.
I think he's going to do all right. Yeah, I think he'll do okay.
Yeah, one of my favorites, and I'm going to wait for the reread till the third one's announced.
Oh yeah, sure, okay. I've only read the second one once, but this is like my 3rd time that I read the first one. But I think it was like 5 years ago that I read it. So it's actually really cool to come back and revisit something that you thought you were familiar with, but looking at it with new eyes. So yeah, it's cool.
Awesome. And what's next?
What is next on my list? God. I'm reading a book for a friend. Her name is C.S. Pacat. She's an Australian author. She has a YA novel coming out next year called Dark Rise, and I'm going to be doing like a crit read I've actually started doing the crit read for her, and it is amazing so far. So she's the author of a trilogy called Captive Prince, and she's actually a buddy of mine and Amy's. So yeah, I'll be reading her stuff, which is super exciting. It's the first time she's done a YA novel. So yeah, it will be cool.
Awesome. Amie?
Right now, I am reading Victories Greater Than Death by Charlie Jane Anders, which is not out till next year, so I know I'm a jerk to mention it, but it is amazing. It's a space opera that is just brimming and fizzing with life, and I absolutely love it. And next, I am reading The Court of Miracles by Kester Grant, which is Les Mis meets the Jungle Book, apparently. It sounds amazing. I can't wait. 95% of the mail to and from Australia at the moment is on ships rather than planes, so our books are taking a little longer to reach us, but my copy came and I'm very excited.
Awesome.
Sunday Times bestseller. Just got on the Sunday Times list in the UK last night. So
It
she's
sure is.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next question. What is a fun fact about you, starting with Amie?
I took my very first steps on a boat. I could walk on a boat before I could walk on the land by a fair margin.
Did you ever
No
fall
one
in?
knows why. That's it.
Did they teach you how to swim before they taught you how to walk?
No, but they like put a life jacket on me and tethered me to things. It was
Yeah,
fine.
okay.
I had like a little seat that clipped on next to the actual steering wheel of the boat, and I had my own fake steering wheel, and I was under the impression for some years apparently that I was steering the
Oh, that
boat.
you're in charge. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I like it.
I know, it explains the overwhelming confidence about everything in life, doesn't it? Mm.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Jay.
I guess I am a huge nerd, and the first stories that I ever told were around gaming table playing Dungeons and Dragons, and I still play with some of those dudes today. We actually play over Zoom, weirdly enough. We're playing tonight. So yeah, I am the nerd who is to nerds what nerds are to normal people, I guess.
That's awesome. Okay, for the last question, I'm going to let you choose the category, and the options are 2 truths, 1 lie, would you rather, 6-second summaries, or deserted island.
Would you rather?
Would you rather? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
These are
awesome.
American things. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to give you 3 of them, and we'll do the same sort of thing. Amie, answer first, and we'll continue. Okay, first one is, would you rather never have read your 5 favorite books or only have read your 5 favorite books?
All right, I would rather have only read my 5 favorite books, because it would be like erasing my identity. I wouldn't be me if I hadn't read those books. And being a writer, I could write myself some more when I'm done with those 5.
Jay?
Yeah, same answer. I wouldn't be the writer I am today without the books that inform me. So yeah, you'd be erasing part of your own ability, I guess. But also it goes back to what I was saying before. Rereading books that you thought you knew a few years after you've read them is actually a really cool experience. So yeah, I'd definitely stick with the faves.
Awesome. Okay, next one is, would you rather only be able to read the first book in a series or only be able to read the last book in a series?
This is me!
First book for sure. I mean, most good first books in series are still kind of self-contained. Like, you know,
yeah.
You can read The Hunger Games and be satisfied with the ending, even though you know that there is more to come. But reading the third, depending on the book, it wouldn't make any sense at all. So yeah, first for sure.
Yeah, and first also because, I mean, let's be real, half the time that's what happens. Like, we all start series all the time that we definitely mean to come back. And then when books 2 and 3 come out, you're like, oh, I don't really remember what happened in book 1. I'll have to read them all together, and then you don't, which, sidebar, is why we put summaries in the start of all of our books 2 and 3 about what happened, because we are the key culprits of not remembering anything.
Awesome, good answers. And last one, would you rather only read sci-fi or only read fantasy?
Oh, it's brutal. Brutal.
Yeah, that's rough.
The book that I'm giving up on either side, oh my goodness.
Like asking a parent which one of their kids is the favorite. You probably do have a favorite, but you don't want to mention it in front of the kids.
Look, I mean, I think ultimately I would say sci-fi because, and Jay and I say this all the time, people are constantly saying, oh, I don't really read sci-fi. And it's like, well, you know, if you read The Hunger Games, you've read sci-fi. If you've read most popular books and movies and seen most popular movies that are out there, you've read sci-fi. So the sheer variety, I get more books if I say sci-fi, I think.
Okay.
I think I'm going to say fantasy. Yeah. The books that I love the most are probably fantasy books. And that was the first space where I felt like I had found books that were written just for me. So yeah, it's a really hard choice though. But yeah, if I had a gun to my head, I'd say fantasy.
Awesome.
Well, and you know what? You take fantasy, I'll take sci-fi.
And then we play our powers combined. Yeah. Form Voltron.
So,
yeah.
We're co-authors. We do everything together.
Well, thank you both for joining us. That was awesome. And I look forward to everyone here reading Aurora Rising and Aurora Burning.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks, mate. Take care.
We'll see you in person sometime.
And now I'm going to send it to Elizabeth to tell you about some sci-fi fantasy coming soon.
Thanks, Josh. First up, I am so excited to tell you about The Gilded Ones by Nomina, which is coming out on February 9th, 2021. So unfortunately, we do have a little bit of time to wait, but it is totally worth it. The Gilded Ones is the start of a bold and immersive West African-inspired feminist fantasy. Just let all that sink in. It is amazing and cinematic, and you are going to be absolutely obsessed with this new fantasy series. So to set the scene, 16-year-old Deka lives in fear of the blood ceremony that will determine whether or not she can officially join her village. She is praying that her blood runs red on the day of the ceremony and not gold, which is the color of impurity. But then it turns out her blood does run gold, and she is immediately considered an outcast. So, thinking that she's going to be left for dead, suddenly a mysterious woman comes and offers her a choice. stay in this village and submit to her fate, or leave to fight for the emperor in an army of girls just like her. They are called Alaki, near immortals that have rare gifts. So it turns out that the Alaki are the only ones who can stop the empire's greatest threat. So even though she knows that these insane dangers lie ahead of her, she does decide to leave behind the only life she has known and search for acceptance, and takes on this challenge. So when she journeys to the capital to train for the biggest battle of her life, she meets friends, other girls like her who have strength that she never could have even imagined. But she also discovers that within the Great Walled City holds many, many surprises. And of course, not everything is as it seems, not even Deka herself. Cannot wait for you all to read the Gilded Ones in 2021. But enough from me. Let's talk with Nomina herself.
Morning, Elizabeth. Thanks for having me.
You're so welcome. I love those gloves.
Thank you.
I wish we could be in person on the show floor at San Diego Comic-Con, but I think, we're going to have just as much fun virtually today.
Oh my gosh, I wish I was there too, but social distancing.
Still got to do it. But anyway, thank you so much for joining. We're so excited to talk to you today and learn more about the Gilded Ones. So I have just a few questions for you. Are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Okay. So first up, what 5 words would you use to describe the Gilded Ones?
Fun, fierce, brutal, magic, golden.
Whoa, that was fast. I like that. Nice. Okay, next up, what book are you reading right now, and what is next up on your TBR pile?
All right, let me go to my bookshelf. So right now I am reading Given by Nandy Taylor. And next up, I'm so excited to be reading Ray Bear by Jordan Ifueko.
Wow. Oh, that's awesome. And I love that you have your visual aids right there with you. Love the bookshelf.
Oh my gosh, my bookshelf is my everything.
I love it. It's organized so nicely. And I spied the Gilded Ones sitting on that shelf.
Of course.
Love it. Okay, next up, the question is, what is one fun fact about you that readers might not know?
All right, so this is a little bit of a messed up fun fact, but I was bitten by my neighbor's chimp when I think I was like 5, and I still have the scar like right above here.
A chimp?
Yes, my neighbor had a pet chimp. And I tried to give him a banana and he bit me. I don't really like bananas like that, or maybe, he was just in a bad mood.
Oh no. Do you have any fear of chimps now because of that?
In general, I just don't think you should keep wildlife as pets. I'm like, no, your dogs and cats.
Totally understand. Okay, so are you ready to play a little game with us today?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to play a short game of Deserted Island. So basically, I'm going to give you a few categories, and you have to answer as if you are on a deserted island and can only have one of the item in these categories. Some of these are going to be a little tough questions, so are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so you're on your deserted island, and you can only have one book with you.
This is a mean question.
I know, I'm sorry.
Oh my God. What kind of question is that?
I know, very, very mean
question. I can only have one. My God. You know what? I am going to go for whatever is the biggest book of fairy tales there is. That's the book that I want. I want like a book that has every single fairy tale in the world. I'm sure there's one, and that's the book that I want.
Nicely done. So a book, a book with many books in it. Makes total sense.
Yes.
Okay. So not everything on the island is that mean. So, okay, now you can only have one snack.
Let's see. What's the one snack? Plantain chips.
Ooh, yum. And maybe there's even plantains on this island. You can make more. So
that's true. Yeah. But like sweet plantain chips. Let's go.
Love it. Love it. Okay. You can have one article of clothing.
You know, I am gonna say a swimsuit because I figure if I'm on a deserted island and there's water nearby, I might as well be in it.
Might as well be in it. I totally get it. Okay. Now, this is about survival. So what is one tool that you would want to have? Like you can have one tool to help you on the island.
I would want some kind of blade or cutlass. I think that would be, yeah.
Okay, it sounds to me like you're gonna survive. I think you figured.
Oh yeah. You need something to like chop down wood. You need, you know, you might need to go hunting. You might need it to like spark a fire. It has many uses.
Many uses. So I mean, I feel like you've got this deserted island thing figured out pretty well. I think you're gonna make it.
Let's be honest. I don't think I'd survive. I think I'd like last maybe 2 days and be like, yeah, this sucks.
At least I have your fairy tales though.
And that is true.
All right, Nomina, that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining us. We can't wait to read the Gilded ones.
Thank you for having me. Bye, you guys.
Bye. Next up, we have Black Canary, Breaking Silence by Alexandra Monier. Black Canary, Breaking Silence is the next installment in the DC Icon series, which, if you haven't read yet, are amazing YA novels that tell the origin stories of some of our favorite DC superheroes. For example, we have Wonder Woman, as told by a Wonder Woman herself, Leigh Bardugo. We have Batman, reimagined by the incredible Marie Lu. Catwoman, as only Sarah J. Maas herself could write, and then, of course, Superman by the acclaimed Matt De La Pena. But now we have Black Canary, Breaking Silence. This is the thrilling origin story of Black Canary, aka Dina Lance. Dina's voice is her weapon, and in a near future world where women have no rights, she will not hesitate to use everything she has, including her song, to fight back. Alexandra does an incredible job of balancing Dina's fight to destroy the Court of Owls once and for all, while also exploring her blossoming romance with the mysterious new student, Oliver Queen. And a fun fact here, the cover artist is Jen Bartel, who is an absolute force in the comic community. So everyone from comic lovers to graphic novel lovers to superhero lovers to YA fans in general are going to absolutely love this book. Black Canary is definitely a superhero to believe in and a heroine to cheer for from start to finish. Next up, we have A Universe of Wishes, edited by Danielle Clayton. Danielle Clayton is the author of the Belle series, and she is also the editor of A Universe of Wishes, which is a fantasy short story collaboration with We Need Diverse Books. 15 award-winning celebrated diverse authors. Let me repeat that. 15 of them have come together for this project, including Libba Bray, Victoria Schwab, Justina Ireland, Natalie C. Parker, just to name a few. These short stories are about princesses without a need of a prince, a monster long misunderstood, memories that vanish with a spell, and voices that refuse to stay silent in the face of injustice. This powerful and inclusive collection contains a universe of wishes for a braver and more beautiful world. This is another one that we're going to have to wait just a little bit longer for. This one comes out January 5th, 2021. But again, this is so worth the wait, and we are so excited about this collection of fantasy short stories. But don't take it from me. I am very proud to introduce Danielle Clayton. Hi, Danielle. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited.
Yay. Can't believe this is San Diego Comic-Con, the virtual edition. Here we are.
Right. Here we are without all of the bodies and the cosplayers and the arena and going around in the booths, but we are here.
But we are still here, and we are still going to make it fun.
Right.
Okay. So I have just a few questions for you today.
Okay.
The first one is, what 5 words would you use to describe A Universe of Wishes?
Oh boy. Okay. So since A Universe of Wishes is a collection of some awesome writers and their fantasy stories, I think I would describe it, one, as fantastical. It's fantasy and sci-fi. Dark, because there are some really great sort of dark and foreboding stories. Twisty. Okay. There's a lot of unexpected things that you might not be expecting. Super fun. They're a lot of fun. I loved putting this collection together. I also loved all of the stories. And I guess unexpected. There are some surprise stories in there from some worlds of the creators that you might not expect to see. So I was able to bamboozle some authors into giving me stories from inside of their existing sci-fi fantasy worlds.
Well, now it's even harder to wait until next year for this
I
book.
know.
I love that.
Yeah.
Unexpected. Okay, I'm ready for it. All right, next question up is, what are you currently reading? And then what is up next on your TBR pile?
Okay, so I'm currently reading a book called Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson. And it's actually contemporary, but it's twisty and thriller. It has a thriller-esque feel, and it's super, super good. It comes out in September. So currently, that was I'm currently reading. I'm lucky that I get books early, which is a perk. And what is up next is I'm going to read The Gilded Ones by Nomina, which is very exciting because I love her and she's a debut author and her book comes out next year. And it's very exciting because it feels like a little bit of The Handmaid's Tale, but you've got sort of West African iconography and culture and all of these girls, and it's dark and brooding and bloody, and I'm ready. I'm excited.
Oh, I loved that one as well. It is so cinematic and powerful. Oh, you're going to love it. I can't wait to hear what you think.
Yay.
Okay, so next question is, what is one fun fact about you that people might not know?
One, I get a lot of heat for this, but I eat cupcakes upside down. So I don't like frosting. I know I'm a monster. And it's ever since I was a child, there's something about the texture of it, all of it. So whenever I get a cupcake, I just flip it upside down and I eat it from the bottom. So
it's kind of efficient when you think about it. If you don't like the frosting, why bother?
Exactly. And I don't have to make a mess by wiping it off and offending, the person with me eating the cupcake. I just flip it over and eat from the bottom. If someone wants the frosting, they can enjoy the frosting. But people stare at me like I'm a monster when I do that.
The cupcake integrity.
Exactly. I'm like, but I'm here for the cake. I'm here for the cake part.
Exactly. That's all that really matters. Okay, so now we're going to play a little game. I hope you're ready.
Oh, no.
We're going to play Would You Rather, the bookish edition.
Oh, God.
Okay.
I'm
So I'm
scared.
going to ask you a couple of questions. You should be scared, a little bit scared. So number one, would you rather never learn the ending of a book or have the ending be spoiled?
Okay, so I'm actually not upset about spoilers because for me, the journey to the end and the journey to the twist or the spoiled piece is for me the most interesting part. So I would rather the ending spoiled for me than to never get to know what the ending is.
Got it. Cool. All right. Would you rather never have read your favorite 5 books or only have read your favorite 5 books?
Oh my God. You guys are monsters. This is really hard.
I told you to be a little bit scared.
Oh no. My favorite books, I need them. Well, then I would rather just only have my 5 favorite books to read for the rest of my life because they're books that I can read over and over again and find joy. That's my answer.
I'm sorry, that really was a hard one.
And I'm a former librarian. This is brutal.
I know, right? Okay, so last one, and then I will let you off the hook here.
Okay.
Would you rather only be able to read one genre forever or only be able to read books by one author forever?
Well, one genre, because then I can just stay in the sci-fi fantasy bucket forever. And there are a lot of books and worlds and things that will populate a lifetime's worth of reading. But what if my favorite author stops being a writer and then there are no more books?
Uh-oh.
So,
well, the good news is that you don't actually have to pick any of these.
I know. Oh, it's really brutal. You guys raked me over the coals here.
Sorry about that, but thank you so much for playing with us today and for being with us. We can't wait for your book next year. Thank you again. This was so fun.
Yay.
Yay.
So happy.
Thank you. Now I'm going to turn it over to my friend Caitlin, who's going to tell us a little bit more about what's going on with mystery thrillers.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I have been living for twisting mysteries to keep me guessing and heart-racing thrillers that make it feel like I've actually been doing all of those online workout videos I said I would do and then never even started in quarantine. So this is good for you. This is for your health. I am now thrilled, see what I did there, to tell you about some great mystery and thriller reads to add to your TBR ASAP. And first up, and burning it all to the ground, is Rory Power's follow-up to the New York Times bestselling Wilder Girls, and it is called Burn Our Bodies Down. Now, before I tell you what this phenomenal book is about, let me just go ahead and promise you that this will be your new favorite book, hands down. In fact, Entertainment Weekly basically said exactly those words, so you gotta believe me. Let me tell you what all the excitement is about. Meet Margot, our main character. Ever since she was born, it's been just her and her mother, just the two of them stuck in their rundown apartment, really struggling to get along. No answers to her questions about their past, no relatives to speak of, and no history to hold on to. But you see, Margot wants more. She wants a family and the history to go with it. She wants answers about where she really came from. I mean, come on guys, who wouldn't? So when she finds an old photograph of her mother's hometown, she decides to go there herself and find the truth, which sounds pretty easy, right? Obviously not so much. You see, the thing is, when Margot gets there, she starts to realize her mother left for a reason, and instead of answers, she's only found more questions. Questions like, did her mother leave to hide something in her past? Or did she leave to protect Margot from what's still lurking there? The only real answer Margot has so far is that there is poison in their family tree, and the roots are so deep that now that she's there, she may never escape. And yes, you should feel very creeped out right now. You'll be tearing through this book, looking for the answers yourself, and it will absolutely take you for a wild ride. And I also can't forget to shout out that our heroine is gay, making this not only the perfect book for your thriller collection, but also a great addition for your LGBTQIA reading. Now, without further ado, let's say hi to the woman who made this all possible, and here she is, New York Times bestselling and amazing person all around, Rory Power.
Hi, Caitlin. Thank you so much for having me.
Hi, Rory. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to have you here for everybody to get to know a little bit more about you, especially now that they know all about Burn Our Bodies Down.
Thanks for introing.
Yeah, anytime. I hope I did you justice. But we're going to go ahead and start off with the 5 words you would use to describe Burn Our Bodies Down.
Okay, I'm going to go with a mix of adjectives and nouns because I just want to spice it up. So I'm going to go with eerie, creeping, not creepy, but that too, but creeping.
Creeping is very appropriate.
Yes. Intense. And then for my nouns, I'm going to go with summer and corn, which I just feel like I have to put in there because there's a lot of that.
There is a lot of corn, and it's very appropriate. I've never seen corn look quite as beautiful as it does on the cover of this book.
I know. Oh my God. I was like, well, that's not what I was picturing. I was picturing something a lot uglier, but like, let's go with that.
Pretty corn. It's not just corn. It's pretty
right.
corn. Those 5 words are great. So we're going to jump into our next question, which I'd love to hear about what you've been reading. And our surprise guest has made an appearance. Do you want to introduce her first?
Let's. So I'll give you my fun fact now, which is that I just got she's 9 weeks old, a kitten named Scallion.
Hi, Scallion.
We've been together for a week. She has a secret life I don't know anything about because she sleeps all day. And I'm like, what is happening at night that I don't know about? You're going to get, okay, there's no easy way down from my chair.
I believe you, Scallion. She's the hero we didn't know we needed. Look at her.
She's really just like stranded herself.
I'm proud of her though. She's like seeking new territories.
She's growing up, you know?
Yeah.
She's 9 whole weeks old.
Dare I say she's coming of age?
She could have a young adult novel. There we go. I rescued her.
Do you think you'll ever name a character's pet after Scallion, or is Scallion just for her?
I think right now it's just for her, but like you never know. Yeah. I won't shut that door.
She's pretty precious, and that is probably the most exciting fun fact of the day. I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you.
Well, I'll take you back to our other question. What have you been reading recently?
I just yesterday finished A Song Below Water by Bethany C. Morrow, which is like contemporary fantasy set in Portland with mermaids and sirens, actually, I think. Is the right word for it. It was amazing. Bethany is such a smart writer. So I just highly, highly recommend. I know it's back ordered in a lot of places, so put your order in now so that it'll get to you as soon as possible.
So guys, when you're out there and you're purchasing Burn Our Bodies Down, go ahead and add that one on top of it. What's better than 2 books? Absolutely nothing. Maybe 3 books. You never know. All right, so now we're going to move into our game segment of our lightning interview. Are you ready to play 6-second summary?
I'm ready.
I believe in you. I will be holding up my hands for everybody out there to see how much time is going by. These are called seconds, so don't hold me to it. But you're going to do 3 of them. Okay. And the first title, if you are ready, is One of Us is Lying. On your mark. Okay. Get set, go.
It's like The Breakfast Club, but someone dies, and there are 6 of them, and they're in, maybe I'm thinking 6 seconds. Oh no, I wasted my time.
So close, so close.
Listen, I got like the pitch in, but I don't really get further.
Everybody out there, you got what you needed to get from that. All right, we're gonna go into another one. Let's see now that you've done.
Yeah, I'm not gonna overthink it.
All right, book number 2 is American Royals. Ready, set, go.
It's like America, but if they're royals.
The title.
And yeah, it's Princess Beatrice, and then oh no, I don't know what.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
I lost it.
Once again,
Princess Beatrice.
I think that's a time when a book title says everything you need to know. That was it.
Being very kind.
Okay, the last one, and I believe in you for this one.
Okay.
It is House of Salt and Sorrows. Ready?
Okay. There's a girl who has like 12 sisters, and they start dying one by one because they're going to these like creepy balls in the nighttime, and she's like, "What's up with that? Let's find out." The end.
The crowd goes wild.
I improved. It was
you were just improving every step of the way. You got there. You took us with you.
That's what it's about.
So you did a great job, Rory. Thanks for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, now we're going to get back into our buzzes, and hopefully everybody's going to go out and buy Burn Our Bodies Down right now. Talk to you later. And next up is a brand new mystery from debut powerhouse author Kim Johnson that goes on sale July 28th. And yes, if you are watching this live during Comic-Con, that means this Tuesday. So This Is My America is about 17-year-old Tracy Beaumont. Every week, she writes letters to Innocent's ex, asking the organization to help her father, an innocent Black man on death row. But it's been 7 years of writing and waiting and hoping, and Tracy is running out of time because her dad only has 267 days left. And on top of that, the unthinkable happens. Her older brother Jamal is accused of murdering a white girl from their high school. You see, Tracy has seen what happens to Black students. She doesn't need anyone to tell her that her town's racist history still haunts the present. Determined to save her brother and clear his name, all while racing against her father's clock, Tracy investigates what really happened between Jamal and Angela that night. The question is, how far will she have to go for justice for her family, and is she already too late? This Is My America is part mystery, part thriller, part heartache, part hope, and 100% essential reading for the anti-racist reader. It kept me on the edge of my seat and can absolutely stand beside One of Us is Lying, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and Sadie any day. If you only take one thing away from my buzz today, please make it that not only is this a perfectly paced, heart-pumping mystery, but it is also a mystery that matters. Now, I am thrilled to introduce all of you to the author herself and our very last special guest of the day, Kim Johnson.
Hi, I'm so glad to be here.
Hi, Kim. We are so excited to have you here. Thank you for joining us on this very comfortable stage we have set up for everybody. How are you doing today?
Oh, awesome. I'm so excited to participate, even virtually. So
it's the way everything's happening right now. So
yeah.
Let's go ahead and dive in because I know everybody is excited to hear from you. The first question I have for you are what 5 words best describe This Is My America?
Yeah, I would say it's raw, gripping, fast-paced, unflinching, and timely.
They couldn't be more perfect, you guys. Just listen to her. That's the best buzz you could ever get. On to our next question. What is currently on your TBR?
Yeah, so I have so many books on my TBR, but I'm going to focus on the mystery thrillers that I'm super excited about. I've got a bunch of arcs of books, so I'm really excited to read your next James Patterson Presents by Kyle Scott. Burn Our Bodies Down by Rory Power. I can't wait to read that. I know it's going to be twisty and just like so thrilling, so excited about that. Boy in the Red Dress by Kristen Lambert, which is like a 1920s New Orleans historical mystery. Cemetery Boys by Iden Thomas, and then another book that I'm super excited about is Catherine House by Elizabeth Thomas.
Those are all such great recs. I read a couple of those. Most recently, I read Boy in the Red Dress, and I'm just like, it's so great. It moves.
Oh, I can't wait to read it.
obviously burn our bodies down. You guys all just heard about that in our book buzz a couple of seconds or minutes ago. So I think we all clearly know that Kim Johnson has the best taste, and you should listen exclusively. So now that we know we can trust you with your book recs, we'd also love to get one fun fact from you.
So I have always loved mysteries. Like I was a kid, I used to always search for some kind of mystery. Like I would see a milk carton and think that I was the girl on the milk carton. Or if I was in a car, I would try to memorize license plates. And so like my goal growing up, I wanted to be an FBI investigator or a lawyer. So I didn't turn into any of those. My sister is a lawyer, and I just now get to do all that cool stuff when I write. I get to be an investigator, I get to be a litigator, I get to be all those cool things. So
that's so awesome. One, because I also used to try to memorize license plates, so I'm right there with you. But I think that comes through so clearly, and This Is My America. I mean, it's a paced thriller. I feel like I'm learning things about the criminal justice system. I'm learning things about how things get investigated, but also just like the absolute determination it takes to figure out the mystery, solve the problem, get the answers, and just it's so clear that comes through that it's something that you probably always loved. And that's really exciting that it's now in our book that everybody gets to read so soon. So moving on to our last segment, we are going to play a little game with you. And ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else out there, Kim has picked Would You Rather? And I have got some juicy, scary, tough ones for her. First up, would you rather read the book first or watch the movie first?
I have to read the book first. I have to. I can't stand seeing a movie first because I need my imagination to fill it out, and usually it's so much more detailed. So gotta read the book first.
I'm right there with you. It's not that there is a right or wrong answer here, but that was probably the right answer.
That's what I'm thinking.
So on to the second one. Would you secretly hate a book that everybody loves, or would you secretly love a book that everybody hates?
I would secretly hate a book that everybody loves. I secretly hate books that everybody loves. So that's not actually very hypothetical.
Well, still, being honest, that's what matters. And then the last one I'll ask you is, would you rather see your book get turned into a movie or a TV show?
I want the big screen. I want to be able to go into the theater. Even during COVID-19, I'd wear my mask. I'd take it down, eat my popcorn. I want surround sound. So I definitely would love to see it on the big screen.
I would love to see Tracy up there. I'm right there with you. Opening night, let's break out the popcorn. I agree. All right, well, with that, thank you so much for joining us for our lightning round interviews. Everybody out there, keep in mind, Tuesday, July 28th, This Is My America is going to be on bookstore shelves and online bookstore websites, so you can get them both. So thank you again so much, Kim, and we'll keep on buzzing some books. First up is The Cousins by Karen Mcmanus, and how excited am I to tell you guys about this one? Hitting bookstores and flying into your hands December 1st. And yes, I know that sounds really far away, but time usually tends to fly a little bit faster if you just go ahead and pre-order right now. So just a little fun tip from your friend Caitlin. So maybe some of you watching out there have cousins, and it turns out in a twist that you just will not see coming, so do the main characters of this book. Millie, Aubrey, and Jonah Story are cousins, but the thing is, they barely know each other. In fact, they've never even met their own grandmother, which is too bad because she just so happens to be insanely rich and owns an island resort, which I would gladly visit any day. You see, before these three cousins were even born, their grandmother disinherited their parents and cut off all contact, supposedly with no explanation. So when she sends each of the cousins a letter inviting them to work at her resort for the summer, they're pretty surprised. Meanwhile, their parents are pretty excited, thinking that this is finally their chance to get back in her good graces. But when the cousins arrive at the island, they learn that their grandmother has different plans for them. The longer they stay, the more questions they have, and the more questions they have, the more clear it becomes that the entire Story family has secrets, and dark ones. Whatever pulled them apart years ago isn't over, and this summer, the cousins just might learn everything. Anybody else have goosebumps now? I can't tell you enough how far Karen Mcmanus hits this book out of the park. I know you don't need me to tell you this, but you are in for an absolutely deadly, delightful ride. Next up, and finally on our list of mystery and thriller books to buzz for the day, we have Influence by Sarah Shepard and Lilia Buckingham, going on sale January 1st, 2021. That's right, you guys. It's one more that's right into the next year. You may know Sarah as the #1 New York Times bestselling author of the Pretty Little Liars series. And Lilia is a 16-year-old writer, actress, dancer, and student who you can follow on Instagram at Lilia, along with her nearly 2 million followers. Together, these authors throw you straight into the world of teen influencers. And let me tell you, it isn't always pretty. Delilah is new to LA, fresh off her first viral video and standing on the edge of influencer celebrity status. Jasmine, on the other hand, has been in the spotlight her whole life. A child star turned media darling, the world loves her rainbow skirt personality, but what would they do if they knew who she really was on the inside? Then there's Fiona, who's the kind of girl for whom a crowd parts. She's all laughs and smiles until someone comes out of the shadows with a secret from her past that just might get her canceled. And finally, there's Scarlet Lea. Everyone wants to be her. She isn't just styled to perfection, she is perfection. At least that's what she wants you to think. To everyone online, their lives seem picture perfect, but the sun in LA is hot, y'all, and someone is about to get burned. You guys, this one absolutely rocked me. 1, I will never look at influencers the same way ever again. 2, I will never ever have what it takes to be an influencer. 3, I did not see the ending coming, and oh my goodness, I wish I could just tell you what happens, but then I guess I'd probably get canceled for spoilers, which I have now learned is not a good thing. So just trust me when I say this is the perfect read to pick up after the holiday madness this year and sink yourself into the glamorous world of parties, followers, and pretty suspicious lies. If you're looking for more mysteries and thrillers, check your shelf before you wreck your shelf, because now you have 4 stellar picks to read ready and waiting for you. With that, I'll be passing things back to Elizabeth to give you a sneak peek into a brand new line of perfect reads for every reader. Over to you.
Thanks, Caitlin. Okay, so this is our final buzz of the day, but as Team Underlined, we are so excited to tell you about this brand new line of original paperbacks, all brought to you by Underlined. So we know you love a fast-paced, unforgettable read, but sometimes it's just you don't know what to read next. Like your TBR pile is miles high, and there's just so much out there to choose from. Well, that's where we have you covered, because the Underlined paperbacks are the easiest decision you will make each month. It's very simple. This is not a series, but it is a monthly program, and every month there will either be a thriller, a horror, or a rom-com for you to pick up and devour. These are fast-paced, they are quick, they are fun, and they are super wallet-friendly at a paperback price. So, first up is already out, and you can check it out right now. It's called Escape Room by Maren Stoffels. The first one is a horror. So we all know escape rooms, right? That fun game you do with your friends, or you could do them online. You go into the room, you solve the clues, you hope that you escape, right? Super fun. However, what happens if the game master has absolutely no intention of letting you go? Dun, dun, dun. I will say no more. You are not going to want to miss every single month of these books. They are fun, addictive, fast, and they are honestly the best thing you can add to your shelves. So we can't wait to share even more from the Underlined paperbacks and all of our great YA books to come. Thank you so much for your time today. We loved being with you. If we can't do it in person, we're happy to do it virtually. And stay tuned for more from Team Underlined in the future. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.